Hello everyone. In this video I am going to discuss some topics from MCW subject and module 4th. The topics what I am going to cover in this video are the projection welding, friction welding, explosive welding, and laser welding and electron beam welding. So the working principle and advantage, disadvantage, and application. These many things will be discussed in each slide. The first topic is projection welding. The pictorial representation of projection welding is as shown. So this one is before welding, and this second figure is after welding. We will discuss how the process is in the coming slides. It has two electrodes. The electrodes are made up of copper or any electrically conductive material. It is in shape of cylinders, long cylinders. Its one end will be flat. For both the electrodes, one end will be flat, and that flat sides are parallel to each other. The electrodes are connected to step down transformer, and the electrodes are cooled with either some coolant or some water circulation. This is the construction. And one more thing, the bottom electrode is fixed one and top electrode is movable one. So we know that these all are special kind of welding where we are using heat as well as pressure to achieve the required welding. So the top movable electrode is used to apply the required pressure. So workpiece will be held between the electrodes as shown in figure. Next, related to workpiece. For this kind of welding, the workpiece need to be prepared in a certain manner. In normal welding, for both the workpiece, the interface, the joining surface usually will be parallel and flat. But here in this projection welding, one workpiece will be flat, but other workpiece will be provided with some projection or embossment, like a pimple, one pimple here, next pimple here. So this is called embossment. And since the workpiece is having some projections, the method is called a projection welding. So this is the only thing we need to remember in projection welding. The workpiece is treated or made in such a way that one is flat and other one is having some projection on the interface or mating surface. Now we will keep the we will clean the workpiece initially. The interface should be clean, it should be free from all the dust. So either we can use mechanical or chemical treatments. So once it is cleaned, we can keep the workpiece in between the electrodes. Then bring the movable electrode so that it touches the workpiece. Then switch on the supply. Then what happens is, when the high current electricity pass through this across this workpiece from movable electrode to fixed electrode, the current will pass only through this projection or this projection points or this touching points. So because of the resistance offered by this point of contact, the heat will be generated at this point of contact where the projections are made. Along with that, we will apply pressure using this movable electrode. So due to the combined effect of this heat generated at the projection as well as the pressure, the required coalescence will occur and it will form a weld. It actually look like a spot weld, but thing is that it is having multiple projections and weld is occurring at a different projection points. So it is like a projection, spot weld only. Unlike a spot weld, it is single stretch. In single operation itself, we can achieve all the required spot welding. But in spot welding, we have a series of welding processes required. Now the uh, power is the AC supply is kept off, and pressure is removed, and we can remove the workpiece. Now we will see one video related to this one. This is the one kind of projection welding machine. This is the one electrode. This is the workpiece. Here you can see the projection applying the pressure as well as current simultaneously. The coalescence or melting of workpiece occur, and finally the required weld. This is the process. This is the microscopic picture of the weld zone. Now we will see what are the advantages. As I told, more than one spot weld can be made in a single operation. Depends on the number of available projections, we can make multiple spot welding. So compared to spot welding, it is less time consuming. And here the required current, electric current and pressure is less compared to other welding, and it is you can automate it easily. Here there is no, we are not using filler metals, and hence the weld will be clean. Now we'll see what are the disadvantages. The projection welding cannot be made in thin workpiece. Why? Because the projections or embossment, if we are making in thin welding, once it get melted, that melted portion or that heat zone will propagate to the upper surface also. So the entire sheet or that workpiece will be affected by the welding process, and thin workpiece cannot withstand this electrode pressure also. Another disadvantage is equipment is bit costlier. Now we'll see what are the applications. Usually the projection welding is used for special nut have projection at the portion of the part to be welded to the assembly. That means suppose you want to fix a nut over a flat plate, then some special kind of nuts are available which have a ready-made projection. So you can keep the nut over that flat plate and apply this projection welding, so that only that projection, the spots will be get welded to the flat plate. This is one of the advantage, one of the application. Similarly, in automobile and in many industrial application, we can find this projection welding. Next, some applications are, if you see the refrigerator condenser coil, then inside the refrigerator racks, you can see some grills and everything. So all the grills in the behind the refrigerator, that means the condenser coil, or with inside the refrigerator, we call the refrigerator racks, all the grills are welded using this projection welding method. Next we will see friction welding. The friction welding is a kind of solid state welding process in which the work pieces are joined by the heat generation due to the friction at the interface of the two workpiece. So you see the difference from the projection welding. Here we are applying only pressure, we are not applying any electric current, and it's a kind of solid state welding. That means we are not completely melting, we are not making a molten pool for achieving the required welding. That's why it's called solid state welding. So this is the schematic of friction welding setup, and that we will discuss in the coming slides in detail. See, this is the schematic. This is somewhat look like a lathe. This is the bed, the base or the bed. It has some headstock, one tailstock, and some pressure cylinder. So I will explain it one by one. Headstock. Headstock is a stationary part which is firmly fixed on base. Headstock consists of a chuck. Chuck always means something used to hold the workpiece as well as it has the ability to rotate. That means we can fix our one workpiece inside this chuck. The chuck is able to rotate with some high RPM, nearly 3000 RPM. That's about a headstock. Now we can say the other side, movable part or the tailstock. The tailstock is can be moved to and fro. It has work holding clamp here, and it does not, it is stationary part. This work holding clamp is stationary. The work cannot be rotated, but in this chuck or the headstock side, the work will be rotated. Here the work is stationary, and this movable part or the tailstock is connected to a pressure cylinder which used to push the movable part towards the headstock. So this is the overall construction of this system. Before starting the welding process, the interface of the workpiece which need to be get welded are cleaned and made the surface flat each other. Then one part of the workpiece is held inside a chuck, and other piece is held inside clamp. After that, the workpiece which is fixed inside a chuck will be rotated at very high RPM. Once it start rotating at a required RPM, the movable part will be pushed towards this headstock part, so that the workpiece will touch each other. As the stationary workpiece touches the rotating workpiece at the interface, because of the relative motion, there will be friction generation. Due to this friction, there will be heat generation. Since we are applying very high pressure and the rotation RPM of this workpiece is very high, because of these two factors, the friction or the heat generated due to the friction between the workpiece will be very high, which is capable of bringing the temperature of the workpiece above the recrystallization temperature or the nearly the melting point. So the heat will be so high, and when the heat level became the required melting point, the rotation of this workpiece will get stopped. So now both the workpieces are stationary, but the heat generated still exists. That it won't dissipate so soon. So it will be held under pressure. So since the interface is melted and it is already under pressure, the required coalescence will occur. And since we are joining it under pressure, means the axial pressure, the interface or the weld zone have some bulge towards outside. Once the required welding is completed, we will remove the workpiece, allow it to cool, and the bulged portion or unwanted material will be removed by machining or chipping. So this is some kind of upsetting method or reducing the length. So we should always allow some extra allowance for this reduction in length. Now we will see some video related to this one.
Will it work? Basically, by forcing together pieces to be joined, set your weight and rotary motion and pressure.
Here we can see this side, one side it is rotating. This is a rotating chuck. See, the one workpiece kept inside of a rotating chuck, other workpiece inside the stationary tailstock. Now using that pressure cylinder, the workpiece has brought near to. Now the rotation of one workpiece started. Now the application of pressure increases. You can see friction is developed or heat is generated because of the friction. Now applied pressure is increased still more for rigged welding. So you can see the bulged portion now. This is the bulged portion. Now the advantage of this method is it's a very simple process and also it is very faster, low power requirement. Even the interface of two work pieces not meant compulsory that it should be parallel to each other. Even without that also, because we are rubbing it each other, automatically it will get parallel to each other and will get a straight weld. Here we are not using any filler material, hence the joint will be clean and dissimilar metals can be welded together. These are the advantages of this method. Now the disadvantages are this can be used mainly for cylindrical, hollow or cylindrical workpieces mainly, and it is non-forgeable material cannot be welded because we are upsetting it, we are applying pressure in axial direction. That means some kind of forging we are making there. So non-forging, like a highly ductile material, cannot be welded using this method. Sorry, highly brittle material. And preparation of workpiece is more critical in the sense it should be axially, it should be straight, and high setup cost, the initial machine cost, everything is too high. Joint design is limited, that means mainly we can use for cylindrical workpiece. We cannot join different kind of shapes, like straight joints only we can make. We cannot make any zigzag joints, something like that. So design is limited. Now the applications are it is mainly used to weld tubes and shaft, and the application is mainly in aerospace application, automobiles, marine and oil industries, especially the gear, axle tube, valve, drive lines, etc. It is used to replace forging or casting assembly. Hydraulic piston rod, truck rollers, bushes, etc. are joined by friction welding. Used in electrical industries for welding copper and aluminum equipments. Used in pump for welding pump shaft stainless steel to the carbon steel. Gear levers, drill bits, connecting rod, etc. are welded by friction welding. If it is other than cylindrical shape, we will make the friction, or will generate the heat by friction by rubbing it each other, not by rotation. So in that way, in that case, we need a different kind of machine. That's why the entire machine setup is a bit costly. Now the Next kind of welding, special kind of welding process is called explosive welding. As the name indicates, we are using the uh, power or the pressure generated or the impact generated from the explosion or detonation. So explosive welding is a solid state welding process in which detonation of explosives is used to accelerate one of the workpiece to move towards the another workpiece, so that the impact create a joint and complete the welding. So this is the schematic. Roughly I will explain how it is constructed. We have one base plate here or the work table. Over that our one piece, the base, plate usually held in anvil, and the second plate we call it as flyer plate, which usually be in the initial setup we keep it inclined to the base plate, something as shown in figure. Usually the inclination will be 5 degree. So this is flyer plate, this is base plate. These two plates we are going to weld each other. Now a buffer layer made up of rubber, thin rubber, or some cardboard is kept over this flyer plate. This is flyer plate. Here we have a buffer layer or buffer plate, over which this buffer over which we will maintain a layer of explosive material, TNT, RDX, or PNTN, in form of sheet. The buffer layer is used to avoid the damage occurring while the explosion happens or the firing happens, and the damage to the flyer plate. So it is used to avoid the damage happening to the flyer plate due to the explosion. Once the setup is ready, we will fire the explosive material from one corner. Usually it starts from one corner. Even from one edge also we can detonate. We never explode the entire layer simultaneously. It will start from one point and it will propagate to the other point. As the detonation progress across the flyer layer, it will impinge a very high compressive stress wave. Usually it will be in thousands of megapascal, and it sweeps across the surface of the plate. This very high pressure, compressive pressure, cause the flyer plate to move rapidly towards the base plate, so that the impact create a joint and create the weld. So it is kind of a impact force weld. So the use of explosive material is to generate the compressive force or compressive impact, and that impact force is too high, in the order of thousands of megapascal. So once it everything happens in fraction of second, so that very high impact force make a weld between base plate and flyer plate. This is the working principle of this explosive welding method. The setup will be usually kept inside a safety chamber in order to avoid any hazards due to the detonation of explosive. Now we can see a short video. See, this detonation is explosion is propagating. See how the joint is occurring. One thing you need to remember, the joint is, we are getting the joint not because of the temperature from the explosion, but it is from the impact force. So it's starting from one corner and it is propagating diagonally to the other corner. Advantages of this kind of welding are: bond strength of weld material is very high. Then edge preparation is not required. No melting of base metals. No filler metal is required. Dissimilar metal can be joined. And next, the disadvantages are: storage and use of explosive are dangerous. We have seen the recent news about this kind of explosion happening in many laboratories. Detonation of explosive can damage the workpiece. Hence, workpieces with high impact resistance only are suitable for this process. You know that impact force or pressure is very high, so the material which are going to be welded should have very high impact resistance force, and definitely it is not suitable for thin plate. The application used for cladding of metal for purpose of corrosion prevention. And also dissimilar metals such as titanium, steel, aluminum, titanium to steel, aluminum to steel, etc. can be successfully welded in this method. Next kind of welding is laser welding. As the name indicates, the required heat is going to generate using the laser light. So the definition of laser welding is: it's a radiant energy welding process in which the workpiece are joined by the heat obtained from the application of concentrated coherent light beam impinging upon the surface to be joined. So we all know that the laser beams are very powerful and it contain lot of energy, and if you impinge or if you project it on some surface or on a body, it will generate tremendous heat. So that heat is utilized for the melting of workpieces to get the required welding. So so this is the schematic. I will explain the schematic in the coming slide. Before that, we will see some points about a laser. The full form of laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. The light is nearly monochromatic. That means a laser light contain only one wavelength radiation. It is extremely intense and it is highly collimated. That means it can travel long distance without any any deviation or reflection from any material. So it can go straight for a long distance. These are the some points about a laser. Now we will see how it is constructed. See the figure. In the figure, at the central part, you can see a cylindrical shaped one item. It's called it's made up of ruby. Ruby is aluminum oxide, AlO2. This cylindrical ruby, two ends are made perfectly flat. The top end and bottom ends are made perfectly flat. The top end is plated with highly reflective silver coating. So this top end is covered with highly reflective silver coating, which will reflect whatever the radiation energy emitted by this ruby cylinder inside this one to back, and the other end is covered with the same silver coating, but it is partially reflective. At the center of this bottom silver coating, there is a hole used to tap out the laser from this ruby crystal. Over this ruby crystal, a helical flash tube. This helical flash tube is wounded. Inside this helical flash tube, inert gas like xenon is filled, and the tube is connected to electric supply, so that when the electric supply is on, the tube will emit some visible light of high intensity. And also the entire system is kept inside a highly reflective coating, something like this. And also the walls of this coating are cooled using some cooling system, some cooling fluid, and also this is through this one some cooling fluid is passing, which is used to avoid the excess heating of this entire system, including the ruby cube, ruby crystal, then xenon tube, etc. Now, as this flash tube is connected to a pulsed high voltage, xenon transform this electrical energy into white flashlight. As the ruby is exposed to this high intense white flashlight, the chromium atom inside this ruby crystal will get excited, and the atoms of the crystal are jumped to high energy level. After a short interval, these chromium atoms will drop to a intermediate lower energy level with the evolution of some heat, and in the next step the atom will jump from intermediate energy level to the initial state with the evolution of a discrete quantity of radiation in the form of red fluorescent light called the laser. As the red light emitted by one excited atom hits another excited atom, the second atom gives off red light, which is in phase with the collided red light wave. The effect is enhanced as the silver ends of the ruby crystal goes of the red light to the reflected back and forth along the length of the crystal. That means one atom will bombard with the neighboring atom, the energy will be transferred to there, then like that the energy will be propagated. When it reach near the silver coated end, it will reflect back, and finally what happens is the chain reaction collision between the red light wave and the chromium atoms became so enormous, and that finally the total energy bursts and escapes through the tiny hole. So ultimately, after bombarding all the atom and generating or emitting the red light, finally a very high intense red laser light will emerge out through this hole provided at the bottom. Now using this the emerged light is focused using some optical focusing lens to the Ricard spot. So the spot will be very narrow. So at this very narrow point, the entire energy is going to get focused. Because of that, there will be enormous or very high heat generation. This heat generator is used for the melting of workpieces. Due to the heat generated, the material melts over a tiny area, and upon cooling, the material within become homogeneous and solid structure, result in a strong joint. Now we will mostly have video. Now we'll see what are the advantages of this method. Similar and dissimilar metal can be welded. Laser beam can be controlled to grid precision, and hence the weld spot can also be located precisely. Certain location in the material that are difficult to reach can be welded easily by this process. So here if you use some reflecting material, we can deviate the direction. That's why the interior part also we can weld using laser welding process. Heating and cooling rates are much higher in this process. Also, heat affected zone is very small, hence the process is ideal for location which are surrounded by heat sensitive components. Clean weld joint can be obtained by this process. And some disadvantages are slow welding speed, rapid cooling rate cause the problems such as cracking in high carbon steel, high equipment cost, and now applications are used in electronic industry for applications such as connecting wires lead to the small electronic component to weld medical equipment, transmission components in automobile and in cladding process. So mainly the application comes for like a smaller micro level. So whenever this we need a weld at a very small region, we can go for this method. The next method of welding is electron beam welding. Here the required heat is generated using a high velocity electron jet impinged on the surface. So the definition is electron beam welding is a radiant energy welding process in which the workpiece are joined by the heat obtained from a concentrated beam composed primarily of high velocity electron impinging on the surface to be joined. So definitely in this system we should have a electron generator, and the setup schematic is shown here. I will explain step by step how it is constructed and how it's working. The system consists of one electron gun which generate electron beam and related accessories including workpiece, and entire system is kept inside a vacuum pump. So the system is working in vacuum. The electron gun or the electron generator is a tungsten filament. If we electrically heat the tungsten filament to a temperature nearly 2000 degrees Celsius, it emits electrons. So this filament, the tungsten filament, will generate electrons, and this generated electrons will be directed and accelerated through a hollow anode by establishing a high potential difference or high voltage potential between this anode and this tungsten filament. So if you maintain this is positive, this anode is positive, this is negative, because of this polarity difference all the generated electron will be directed towards the anode, and we made the anode a partition, a hollow kind of anode, so that all the electron can pass through that hollow portion. The electrons which are passing through this anode are focused and concentrated using electric coils. One is focusing coil and one is deflection coil. The highly accelerated electrons hit the base metal and penetrate slightly below the base surface. These electrons, the kinetic energy of these electrons will be converted into heat energy, which make a heat zone in the workpiece. That heat will be melt this workpiece zone, the junction zone, and the coefficients we will obtained by this melted portion. So as the electrons continuously emit from the cathode or the tungsten electrode, the heat will be generated continuously. Finally, we will get the required joint. So as a assignment, after watching all this video, this is the assignment. Write advantages, disadvantages and application of electron beam welding. That's the end of this video class, and also this is the end of module 4, and next video onwards we will move